You're listening to KCPR the Rec, your place to recreate, with your host, Caitlin, Jonathan, and Joe.
Hey there, welcome to KCPR the Rec. Today's podcast, we feature a conversation about keeping sports safe, play a round of office trivia. We will tell you what's on deck for Parks and Rec, and of course, give you a national day for today.
Today's National Day.
All right, so today's National Day is Eat Yo Beans Day. And you all know, beans, the natural fruit.
It is a fruit, yep.
Yeah, the more you eat, the more you
feel better.
Get bloated.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, toot.
Give you energy.
It could give you energy.
It helps you have more regular digestion.
There you go.
Definitely.
Fiber.
I guess it's a good fiber. So how are you guys going to celebrate Eat Yo Beans Day?
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm probably not going to eat any beans today.
No?
No.
Tomorrow seems like a pretty good day for beans,
Yeah.
with cooking out and that whole thing. Baked beans.
Yeah, just some hot dogs and burgers and beans, I guess.
Do you mix your hot dogs in with the beans, or do you keep them separate?
Oh, I put bacon in my beans.
Bacon in your beans.
Yeah, a little chop with a little bacon. Ain't no wrong with a little meat in your beans.
Into the Rec Room.
All right, today we want to talk about keeping sports safe. And, there's been a whole lot of talk about concussions in sports and how can we help to, particularly with our youth, keep them safe. So, the main question we're going to try to talk about here is how safe is too safe? And let's just start this topic with a statistic that comes out of a study from Virginia Tech. It showed that these neoprene helmets can help to reduce concussions by 70%. And, with girls soccer in particular, we are starting to see that they're wanting to bring these neoprene headbands to help reduce concussions from heading the ball. Mm-hmm. Caitlin, you're our resident soccer expert.
That's me.
So why don't you talk to us about implementing this new equipment for girls soccer? Do you think that's going to be effective at reducing concussions? What else could they do?
I think it might help them a little bit, but I don't know. I had to wear it in high school because I had 2 concussions when I was in high school, and then to come back I had to wear it. I think it definitely threw me off my game because you had to keep adjusting it. But I don't know. I don't think it's been around long enough to kind of get a feel for that yet. One thing that I do think is going to make a difference is below 12 years old, they've changed the rule that they can't head the ball during the game of soccer. So, those kids haven't been playing too long, so they don't have that urge to, when the ball's in the air, go ahead and head it. But when they do have to get to that part of their fundamental skills, they're going to be more timid, I think, because they're not introduced to it early on. But they are trying to prevent the rate of concussions in soccer by starting with that in the age groups.
Do you feel like that is changing the game fundamentally? Heading is kind of part of that game,
it's a
right?
huge part of the game.
Oh, yeah. I was a center midfielder, so every single punt, corner kick, I had to put my head on it. So I definitely understand. It does give you a headache, especially if you don't head it in the right spot. But I think it's going to throw off their game a little bit just because they're going to have to grow into that. They'll
have to practice those skills later on.
Yeah, and that's when the field's starting to get a little bit bigger, so it might not be too much of a difference, but what they're trying to teach them is just honestly keep the ball at your feet, keep it low. If you keep it low, then you're going to keep possession. If you keep it in the air, then that's 50-50 possession. It doesn't guarantee that your team's going to get that ball back.
Well, Joe, what about lacrosse?
So I know at least for men's lacrosse, there's plenty of equipment for that, but I know for recently with girls lacrosse or women's lacrosse, there's some teams that are implementing a helmet for the girls. So
full face helmet all the way down to the...
No, it's actually a half a helmet. Because I know originally the girls, at one point, girls weren't wearing anything really protective.
Just like the goggles, right?
Sometimes they weren't even wearing the goggles.
Oh, okay.
Though. They weren't. Sometimes at one point they weren't even wearing goggles, but now they're.
So we were fully armoring up our dudes.
Yeah, and
then the girls were just like, "Hey, have at it."
Same sport, but apparently just let's put different equipment on them. So,
okay.
But recently, I know, some schools have put on. I think it was maybe Duke. I think did it, or or Virginia did it, but they did a half helmet kind of thing where it's a goggle still, but the helmet kind of comes around, goes to the top of the head. It kind of comes, a little below, like mid part of your head, and it's because sometimes in the game they do get hit in the head and stuff like that, whether it's a ball or it's getting slashed in the head or something like that too.
Sure.
But I know my personal opinion for girls and women's lacrosse, that I feel like I know the rules of the game kind of change a little bit from the men's and boys side, but I kind of think it should pretty much be the same game. I mean, it's still, is men's soccer and women's soccer different? No. So, but, men's lacrosse, women's lacrosse, it should not be different, because if it's going to be the same, it should be the same sport. They should wear the same amount of pads that the guys wear,
Well, but correct me if I'm wrong here, but the rules, are they the same for the guys' version and the girls' version?
No, there's a whole lot of differences. Like, whether it's even down to the stick, And guys can have a pocket to hold the ball. Girls, it's pretty much they can't have a pocket, and the ball has to be above the sidewall.
Gotcha.
So,
and why do you think the rules are different for the two genders?
I really don't know why. Maybe it's just to keep it safer for the girls and the women, but it's the same. It's the same sport.
Same idea.
It's the same idea. It should be this. It should be the same equipment, same rules, same everything. Like, even their face off, they do it. In midair. The ball goes straight up in the air, and then they try to win it from there. And I always think that's always the part where people are going to get hit in the head with something. And if you did it with the men's all the time, someone's pretty much getting cleared out or getting crushed, on every face-off. So,
gotcha.
It just seems like, I think that with the women's game, they're trying to do more finesse than, the men. Sometimes it's finesse and
men is
strength.
more on power and speed, and girls is more finesse and skill and technical ability.
I just think with the women's and girls, if the new helmet doesn't even cover like their jaw or anything like that too,
right,
so a ball can still hit you in the nose or hit you in the
They're
chin.
progressively getting the helmet to go further and further down. First it was the goggles.
And the thing is,
we'll give lacrosse a little bit more time. They'll get into it eventually.
And
I guess
even like the girls lacrosse goalies, they wear the exact same stuff that men's and boys wear too. They wear the men's helmet pretty much too, the throat guard and everything too. But I don't know. I just feel like I think it's going the right direction for girls and women's lacrosse, that they're getting like a helmet. But I feel like it still should be like a actual helmet rather than just like a half of one.
Well, I mean, certainly the trend seems to be that we're wanting to protect people a little bit more in sports. I mean, playing sports is awesome, but it's only a part of a person's life, and certainly keeping our youth safe is important. I mean, football, we've seen a huge push in flag football versus the traditional tackle football. Yeah. And even with the flag football, we see a lot of youth leagues now that are either requiring or really heavily encouraging this new neoprene helmet. Yeah. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the old school, like, leather helmet that you put on.
Leatherhead's helmet.
Yeah. But it's made of neoprene. So, I mean, what do you guys think about, changing the rules of sports to keep sports safe versus implementing new rules? If you have a thought on it, why don't you go ahead and hit us up on any of our social medias and tell us what you think. We certainly are in favor of keeping the youth safe, even if it does change the game a little bit or that's an extra piece of equipment. Well, since I lost the last trivia game, that makes me today's host. So, we're going to play a round of office trivia. Caitlin and Joe, you are our two contestants.
Yes.
And here's what we'll do. You have your clicker pens with you.
Yes, we do.
So when you think you have the right answer, go ahead and click your clicker pen incessantly.
Like this?
Just like that. That would be great. Thanks. So here we go. Question number 1. In Season 1, Episode 1, who started their first day at Dunder Mifflin in Scranton? Was it Jim Halpern, Ryan Howard, Michael Scott, or Aaron Hannon? Caitlin buzzed in first.
It was Ryan.
Very nice job. Caitlin 1, Joe 0. Question number 2. In Season 1, Episode 2, Diversity Day, what famous comedian's stand-up routine does Michael imitate? Was it Chris Rock, Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, or George Carlin? Joe buzzes in.
It was Chris Rock.
Correct. Caitlin 1, Joe 1. The score is tied. In Season 1, Episode 3, episode was titled Healthcare. Which of these is not one of Jim and Pam's made-up diseases? which is not one of their made-up diseases? Killer nanorobots, hot dog fingers, spontaneous dental hydroplosion, or hair cancer? Caitlin buzzes in.
I'm going to have to go with nanobots.
I'm sorry, that is not correct. Joe, do you have an answer?
I'm going to say hot dog fingers.
That is also not correct.
Ah!
Score is still tied. Caitlin
What was the
won.
answer?
Joe won. The correct answer was hair cancer.
Oh.
Question 4. In Season 1, Episode 4, The Alliance, how much money does Michael donate to Oscar's nephew's charity? Not realizing that it's actually a walkathon and the amount is per mile. Was it $40, $10, $25, or $100? Joe?
I'm going to say, since I think Michael's pretty cheap, I'm going to say $10.
I'm sorry, that is not correct.
No,
Caitlin,
I
do
remember
you have a
he
response?
actually spent something pretty decent, and they were amazed by it. Was it $100?
That's a good guess, but it's also wrong. Michael decided he would donate $25. Didn't realize it was per mile. All right.
Got you. That's why.
Still tied up. 1-1. Question 5. In Season 1, Episode 5, titled Basketball, what small appliance of Pam's breaks down? You should know that it was given to her at her engagement party 3 years earlier. Was it a toaster? Was it a microwave? Was it a blender? Or was it a toaster oven? Caitlin buzzes in.
I'm going to say microwave.
I'm sorry, Caitlin, that's not correct. Joe, do you have an answer?
I'm going to say, because I think Stanley got this for her, I'm going to say toaster.
I'm sorry, Joe, that's incorrect. It's a toaster oven.
No.
You were close, buddy. All right, we're still tied up
my
here.
God.
This one's to win it. 1-1. Question number 6. In Season 1, Episode 6, Hot Girl. What is Hot Girl's name?
Oh, I know this one.
Is it Amy, Christy, Kelly, or Katie?
Oh, me.
Caitlin buzzes in.
Her name is Katie.
Very nicely done, Caitlin. Score 2 for Caitlin, 1 for Joe.
Yes. I
Looks like-
win.
A little barn burner there.
Joe's going to be our next trivia host.
Yay. Good job, guys.
All right, Caitlin, you want to let folks know what's coming up on deck for Parks and Rec?
Oh, yeah. So let's take a look at some of our upcoming programs. Well, it looks like we have a lot of camps. So if you haven't registered your kids in camps yet, we have a lacrosse camp coming up, a volleyball camp, basketball camp, field hockey camp, and of course, our summer camp.
So you get a camp.
Yes.
You get a camp. I get a camp.
Yep. We all
Everyone
get
gets
a camp. Yes, we all
Who
get
loves
a camp.
camp?
We all-
I think we all love camp.
Camp.
Yep.
I
we
love
all
camp.
get a camp.
I love camp.
Camp?
You love camp?
Do you really love the camp?
Anchorman. To register for any of these programs, you can check us out online at
www.co.kent.de-us/parks-recreation.aspx.
So thank you for spending your time with us today. If you enjoyed this episode, then you should check us out in our next episode in 2 weeks, where we discuss competition in the workplace, kind of like we had today. Bring you a Jonathan's Bad Dad Joke, talk about upcoming programs, and give you another National Day.
Catch you on the flip side.
Check you later.
Bye.